today. I'm keeping an eye on it. But of course, let's get to today's playbook and see what plays we could be trading today. Let's take a look. All right, first up on the playbook, we're going to take a look at XLF to see if we get some downside action continuing in the financials. Financials have been trying to break, and that's the way I see it on the chart, right? They've been trying to make that cut down, but haven't gotten the cut down, right? You can see it here, how there's a big support right underneath it. And if we go to the hourly, we're going to also see it here, right? So you can see how we've been kind of stuck in this range, right? Yes, we do make it back to the hourly resistance, but we've also been down there to the hourly support multiple times. So need to start taking a look to see if we start to cut through that 45 spot and going towards the 44.70. So I'll be watching for that action today, right out the gates. Does the financials just take a whacking today? And that's what I'm seeing out there. So keep an eye on it, traders. Let's get to the second one here. We'll talk about SMR, of course, all the nuclear stocks just going bananas this morning as they start to make a nice little push. And of course, you're seeing more and more nuclear talk out there, right? Just the other day, Michigan got a nuclear reactor that just got put into play again, right? And so we need to keep a watch to see what happens with this stock. It is up way from what we talked about it. We talked about it down here, guys. And this is what it's all about here, right? This is one thing that I always give you guys. You guys can clearly see that if you zoomed in. When did we create this line? We created it on August 21st. So that's just to show you guys that a lot of times I'm trying to be I'm trying to be early to tell you guys about these plays so that you guys can be able to catch this type of run. This is a nice, what we're talking, almost 60%. Now SMR trying to break through the 13 this morning, already getting a nice little lift there towards that 13. And this isn't the only one, right? NNE continuing to lift. And then now you're getting all those uranium players. The one that was brought to us right here by the chat, LEU, CCJ, doing pretty well, right? There's so many of these uranium plays and different nuclear plays that you guys can be getting after. So keep your eyes on that. We'll see what happens with the situation if it keeps expanding and if nuclear stocks can stay hot. All right, let's get to the third one here. We'll take a look at a name that you probably haven't heard before. Twist Biosciences, as I'm looking to see what in Kathy Wood's book is going to take a beating here. Of course, you guys can also do this by just shorting ARKK, right? That's another way to look at it. Or we could be also taking a look at At SARK to the upside, right? Those are two options today that I would be looking at. But also taking a look to see if just this twist starts to twist right back down, right? This is a kind of genomics, diagnostics, research stocks that, to tell you the truth, it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. This thing started to curl, got back up there, got towards the 50s, tried to hold that, then started to break, gap down, tried to go back into the gap and really just failed that motion. Now it looks like we're trying to attempt towards the bottom of that range, which could be a move to 37s. It's hit here multiple times here, the bottom in the last couple of days, 42.35, 42 right on the dot. So today I'll look for that flush through the 42. We'll see what happens there in Twist Biosciences. And there's other names, right, that you guys can keep a watch on this space. Plenty of names in Kathy Wood's ARKK that could be on the way right back down. All right, guys, let's get to, of course, the Sunrise Report in a second. We'll take a look at what's going on in the market, right? We can take a look to see what do we got out there, what's moving right now. But, of course, like always, guys, smash the like. We got a lot more for you guys today. Let's get to the action. It's today's Sunrise Report. All right, traders, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what's going on in the market right now. A lot of the action going to be focused on this name right here. You guys can see it on my right-hand side. Nvidia, of course, right? Well, what will happen with Nvidia today as CEO out there putting the fluff in the stock if it didn't already have it, right? So yesterday, a lot of conversation coming from Nvidia. And something that we definitely need to watch for today as the shares were rising, as the CEO, of course, confirmed insane demand for their upcoming Blackwell AI processor, which is, of course, on track for Q4 release. And I mean, he's going to do exactly what a CEO does, right? He's going to push it, right? He's going to try to make it seem better than it is. And that's just what CEOs do, right? I know that some people were thinking, oh, no, he's not putting fluff in the stock. I mean, 100% he is, man. But the truth is, I can't blame the man, right? You fake it till you make it. That's what happens, right? And this company did fake it till they made it. They talked about all the time about AI and how it was going to ramp up at some point, and then it finally did come, and the wave happened, right? We'll take a look at the stock right here. You guys can see how it's trying to load up here on the daily chart, right? Now, can it make the move? Something definitely to watch. We'll see if it starts to make that move and getting up there towards the 140. This is going to be that next wave. The only question is, will you get one more down attempt through the 115s and then this comes up ramping? I think that's what you look for, right? Because if you look at the weekly, you can see how you've approached this multiple times. I could see us coming back into the kind of the 115 spot, 110, and then taking the leap forward, washing out some of the bulls that are lined up right now. But there is a chance for a day to day that you get a push towards the 128, even though there are some uncertainties out there. And if we take a look at the MACD, you can see how you've been kind of chomping around and trying to reload there. Daily looks like it's trying to make the move. It's holding above the zero line, could start making the way. And if I take a look at the RSI, right, and I'm going to take a look at RSI here, I can see that, yes, we did get to overbought, and that happens, right? I mean, especially in Nvidia, you're going to get to that level, and definitely overbought is closer towards 87 on this, right? And you guys can see how you've been turning around, not even at that level. So right now you're in the middle, in the 50s. You could pull right back down, but being in the middle gives it the opportunity to actually make a little run here. We'll see what happens in Nvidia today. Keep your eyes on it, traders. It will be one of the closely watched stocks in tech, like it is every day. All right, let's go to the next stock. We can talk about a little bit about Hims and Hers. Of course, the telehealth company fell about 9% after the FDA came in here and hit them with the resolution of course, the GLP-1 treatment shortage. This previously had allowed Hims and Hers to capitalize on the demand for the weight loss drug. As you guys are seeing it right now, let's go to Hims. Hims, you guys can see, already taking a hit right back down. And this looks like a big head and shoulders to me, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I can clearly see the head right here, the shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder. Now it's all about the neckline. Where do you draw the neckline? And you can see this was like a kind of an undercut. There was a little bit of an extreme. I'd look to see this go right back into that level. So 14 seems like the level to target on the downside here for Hims. And that could also be a longer term kind of resistance trying to make a support. So, hey, Hims and Hers looks like a good downside looking stock this morning as it's down there to 1669. All right, let's get to the next conversation. We'll talk a little bit about EVgo charging stations, right? I've seen these at the corner. I probably have some right nearby. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but take a look. EVgo really starting to load up here. And if you look at the weekly chart, this is what's going to help you. This actually looks really good, guys. So now I'd be looking for pullbacks on this to play the party, right? This looks like a nice little swing trade. It's starting to make the move, and it's trying to climb back here towards maybe $6, right? I'm not saying that it's going towards the moon, but of course, the analysts coming in here and really stepping up to the plate, they're putting this as an overweight and citing the company's superior utilization rate and owner operating model as a competitive advantage. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is definitely with the EV story, but definitely a big pop on this, guys. You can see EVgo already taking the lift. All right, let's go to another one here as we talk a little bit about Levi Strauss. And of course, you guys can see it's taking another whacking. And this is why I'm starting to look back at Starting to look back at the trade that I made a big trade on, which was on Macy's to the downside. As I start to look at this looks juicy even today. If we can get that down day, I'll be looking to reshort names like Macy's into the retail space. Levi did plunge 12% after their missed Q3 revenues expectation and trimmed full year guidance here. The company is exploring selling its underperforming Dockers brand. Let me know in the chat, when's the last time you guys bought a pair of Dockers? I don't think anybody here in the chat, but hey, who knows? Maybe you have Let me know in the chat. It's good to see you guys out there. Smash a like. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. We'll take a look at some different stocks today. Let's take a look at a different one here. Let's go to Constellation Brands, STZ. Of course, you're talking kind of your wineries and distillery, right? This has a lot of also your beer, right? I think even Corona is under STZ here. It's been holding on by a thread, right? It's just been kind of on this slow stair step up on the weekly. Of course, this came from the pandemic time when this was down at 100. But if you take a look overall, this company continues to rise. You got to be careful for downturns, but to tell you the truth, I think this only comes down, even in recessions, this seems to have a pretty good time. So it doesn't look too bad right now. The gains followed better than expected Q2 earnings per share of $4.32 versus the expected $4.08. However, revenue slightly missing the expectation here of $2.92 billion. Let's go to Stellantis as we see the cars and autos continuing to take a hit. Auto manufacturer down big, guys, and continuing to go down here as the stock fell 3% after a downgrade from Barclays to equal weight. And the U.S. sales are slipping here 19.8% year over year in Q3 as the company continues to face inventory issues and market share loss. So, hey, it doesn't look good in Stellantis, but to tell you the truth, it doesn't look good anywhere. I know that GM kind of beat Ford in EV sales in the last quarter, but to tell you the truth, the EV sales are down, guys, and they're going to continue being down. This is why I'm a little bit concerned. Ford could be coming right back down, guys. It could be down at like $8, $6. So definitely the investment in Ford, it doesn't seem like it's the place to be. The only kind of car company that I'd be kind of looking at, and I look at it all the time, is Toyota, right? And that's one that I could think about. But even it's pulling back drastically. Take a look at this, guys. This has been pulling back already, 30%. So, of course, Stellantis is going to take a hit, right? And Team Toyota Motors has been working on SSD and has been working on solid-state batteries, right? And so solid-state batteries, I think, is the next wave in EVs. But we need to get to that point, right? We need to kind of solve some issues here for this to turn around. There is Wolf, last one to mention one more, guys. Wolf is down this morning off of a downgrade. Of course, this is a semiconductor company, but this has been an ugly, ugly stock, guys. This has gone below its IPO kind of pricing back in 2018. I don't even know if it's a little bit before that. Yeah, this is old, but you can see the splits too. So this is all the way back then, guys. So this is a company that, to tell you the truth, guys, maybe it can turn things around, but it doesn't seem too sexy. Now, there was a big bet here just recently. That's one thing I will say. This is a big candle to watch, right? Because you're coming back to it, and this is where you got that big volume spike. So we'll see what happens there. Can it hold that pullback and then start to go back towards 10? And this is, of course, Wolfspeed. They downgraded the stock. They expect 10 to 20% declines in silicon carbide pricing by 2025 due to lower EV production forecasts. So this is, of course, because EV production is going down. This company is taking a hit, essentially. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get you guys over to the live trading side of things, as I'm excited to get back into the hot seat. Yesterday ran into a little bit of a red day, and it happens, right? That's what we do, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to bounce back and battle, team. So let's get after today's action, guys. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let me know what's on your radar out there, guys. We'll take a look and maybe do a little of some pre-market trading. Let's get to the action and see what we can come up with today.
Google wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money. It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
All right, traders, as I take a look here, and let's go to the stocks and see what we got here. I'm already seeing the VIX starting to make a move. I was this morning thinking about already taking a shot here at the 8 a.m. spot as we were down here at the 1320s, and that would have been already a nice one. because I would have been leading into the open already with the VIXI looking like it wants to spike. And this is a big day because honestly, the things that I've been reading about, at least what's going on in the kind of the Middle East, it just seems to show me that this could be expanding. And oil higher this morning. I'm still looking at that for opportunities on pullback. Valero yesterday around the 135 definitely stood out. So today that will be on alert to watch, guys. Take a look to see if oil really gets to spike. A big mention this morning as I started reading into the news, I saw that there was an attack on a Russian base. This is, of course, an attack to try to take away some weapons from Iran. But this just goes to put me on alert, right? Because the truth is that Russia responded. It has been clearing citizens away from Israel. So that's one thing that I'm just looking at. Will that situation expand? That's something definitely to take a look into, right? If Russia gets involved in the mix, well, then things are not looking good in that expansion there. And that could really start to cause some more issues. And we're seeing attacks on supplies of weapons. So that just could cause more and more retaliation and things like this. Put me on high alert today. It's not something that I love to talk about, but something that definitely is going to be affecting the market. And most people will be focusing on Nvidia's action today and that conversation with the CEO. But really, I think that this has the market by hold right now as everyone's paying attention to this in the Middle East, because if this expands, this could also run into situations where we start to affect supply constraints. And then next thing you know, we're already on a kind of a strike for some ports. We start to have some issues for, of course, oil. That could bring inflation higher, and things that are definitely a concern. So I'll be watching today to see if we get a quick downturn in the market. Right now, we were starting to go back to the upside, and look how the market's already starting to drop here, guys. I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to miss the move, so I'm probably going to jump up ahead of times and start trying to take some shorts early on into the market today. And a lot of this is what I've noticed is that I haven't been able to get after just the indexes themselves. So on a day like today, a lot of times I end up trading like SQQQ or TQQQ, right? Something like that. But I'm getting to the point where I'm looking more and more to trading the actual index and just going for the SPY, just going for the Qs themselves. I will be watching the IWM. It is trailing down also with this action. And I think today we could run into a little bit of trouble. No one's talking about the situation that happened with Russia, and that put me on alert itself. Why is no one talking about this, right? So we'll be watching today. Maybe I'm just over blowing it out of proportion, but I think that we're in for a rough day today, guys. And look at the Qs already dropping fast here. 480 30s, 480s already, guys. This is where I get a little frustrated, right? Because the truth is I wanted to be short, right? But I didn't get short pre-market. I was trying to bring it into the show, trying to focus on this. And then now, what are we seeing, right? From 830, look at the action. Straight down $1.58, right? That could be money already, guys, and getting us in a really nice position. So at this point, and you guys know I've been talking about this 481.50 spot as being an important spot for downside rejections when we were looking at it here to see if we were starting to leak. Today, we're using that as the resistance. So that was a sign within itself. Look how it's falling off the tape here. That's going to affect the VIXI. That should probably be having the VIXI already. There you see it into the 34s. So if I was long this morning, I could already be taking profits in the VIXI. Well, that gets me a little frustrated. I just got to take it easy. I know I've already missed a little bit of the opportunity, so I need some pullback to play this. That's where it gets difficult. Need to be early on these moves because the truth is that you're getting a little bit of these moves where you get the momentum push really quickly, and then from there, chop in the intraday. So we'll see what happens here as we're getting the action towards 930. SPY continuing down. And some people are going to be wondering, but what's going on? Why are we going down? Well, I'm pretty much expecting that we'll be watching the situation there in the Middle East. And I was looking around. I didn't see many people talking about it. So that's something definitely to look out, guys. We'll see what happens if we start to see more and more mentions of this, but definitely something to look at, guys. And it looks like Google jumping into nuclear, the Argentinian stock I just bought, and anything else interesting that comes up. So yeah, We'll be taking a look at that. Google mentions of nuclear will definitely help those nuclear stocks. So keep your eyes on the action there. I think we need to look for some pullback now. At some point, we'll get like a week of pullback right there. Look at the NNE on the weekly. This has made a nice little approach back down towards the 14s. Now you're right back up to the 18. That I think is a little bit too far gone, right? And so same thing for SMR. We missed the opportunity on the pullback, and now we need to wait because it's on the rip up. So you can maybe play the momentum in the intraday, just playing the rip up. But at the same time, take a look for hourly long pullbacks. This stock loves to do it, and we'll see if we get another opportunity at support. SMR doing well this morning. And of course, all eyes on Nvidia, but maybe wondering why the market is up or why Nvidia isn't up as much as they expected. All right, we'll take a look around out there, see what else is making a move. The shippers still have not moved, guys. I'm keeping a close eye on it. Yesterday, ship trying to make the move, not really getting that big lift there. Tops is starting to make the move, but not getting the lift. Zim is, of course, you're kind of more of your leader. That yesterday, just kind of hanging out here, guys. But what did it do? It did a retracement to the 9 EMA. This gets it in play for a rip right back towards the 26. So keep your eyes on it, team. If we do get some downside today, maybe this leaks a little bit further. I'm just keeping it on alert to see if it starts to get back through, let's say, 24, right? So that's going to be the area that I will be alerting to on Zim. We'll see what happens. Zim, of course, is a shipper. Let's see what happens if it starts to make its way back here and starts to give me an alert. I'll set it at 23.75 to be a little bit ahead of the 24 move, but I'll be watching to see what happens here. All right, time to catch up with you guys in the chat. What's going on? Good morning to you guys. Mitch, are you short Tesla? Not yet, man. Not yet. Conrad, what's up? How we doing, man? It's good to see you in the chat. What are we looking at this morning, guys? All right, in Tesla, we can take a peek at the Dragon, right? The Dragon, we've talked about how this 245 spot, that would have been the short already. So I was looking at this pullback into the gap space right before the event. So at this point, I think we go sideways before the event. Unless we have a big red day, then I think we could be right back at the bottom of this gap, which is 235. So there's potential for this to come down today. If we do go into the red and the Qs and the VIX starts to get that spike, we could look for a breakdown through this 241.50s. Right now, you could get also a move back towards this hourly high and start to use that as resistance, which is 250. If you could actually close one day above 250, maybe this starts to come back. But unless that happens, I see Tesla in a sideways to down period until the event. The event could get this spiking again, but there already is mentions in the media, and catch this one today, guys. You guys can look on the report. It's on Reuters. If you like Tesla, Vic, I would look at this one. Reuters put out an article, and I think it's a really negative article towards Tesla. You know, because I try not to be biased. I try to catch the bias there. And it was a really negative article towards Tesla because it looks like there was somebody that was using FSD and got into an accident there in I think it was in Texas. And so because of that, they're like just talking about how Robo-taxi and how Teslas, you know, are being used as Robo-taxis, essentially with having the person in there. Yes, they're still having the person in there, but the person's not driving. They're just setting FSD on, putting the address, and letting the car go. One thing that the Uber and Lyft is keep reminding is that if you do this and you take your hands off the wheel, essentially you're being reckless and you're going against their terms. So things to think about, right? There's a battle there with Robo-taxi. Will it be accepted, at least on Uber, right? And in which way, right? Will Tesla's FSD be accepted? Things to think about. And I think that we'll get a lot of answers in the Robo-taxi event. But of course, we all know how these events always seem to be buy the rumor and sell the news, because when we finally get the product, it seems like the actual production is far out in time. So things to think about, right? Same thing happened in the semi truck. Like, do you even hear anybody mention of the semi truck anymore? Do you even hear Elon mention the semi truck? No. And for a long time, that was supposedly the answer to the growth. things to think about, right? All right, guys, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. Tesla already kind of just hanging out. We'll look to see if the Qs can go a little lower here, already towards the 480s. Man, this is a quick little drop. I wish I would have been able to play this here. Definitely nice little drop there, about $1.63 right before it, and starting pretty much early here at 8:30. We'll continue to watch to see if we get some different economic data. I'm looking around to see if there's any smaller names moving or anything catching my attention in the scanners. I see a lot of course, the kind of the nuclear play definitely standing out there. Uranium plays, those are going to be your top kind of plays in the market this morning, as you're seeing a lot of the kind of the leaders showing up on that. Looking for that continued downside. Look at the Qs. Look at the Qs leak here. VIXY trying to just go right back up there, pulled back to the 1330s, might be getting towards the 1340s here and continuing the lift. If we take a look at the daily, we could be approaching the 1370s today. That's kind of like at the top end on my outlook today. Maybe we get up there towards this high, 1386. Don't see us getting into the 14s, but look at the takeoff in the last couple of days for the VIXY. So essentially up 9%. But a really good way to try to make some money. So we'll be watching to see what happens there. Can we start to continue seeing the lift? Chevron, of course, yesterday's mentioned by the chat. Not a bad looking oil stock as it starts to kind of prop here. Will it get above the 200? And Gush is one way to take a look at it on the daily. I'd be watching this today to see if we finally start to get the lift above the 31. 31s will be a good looking level today to kind of target for Gush. Of course, you're talking your leverage trade to the bullish side. Let's see if it starts to make its way through the 30s. And then a lot of times be careful for this to doing this move where it starts on the upside. And I'll give you guys that alert because it loves to do this where it goes towards the top, goes towards the bottom, and then works its way right back up. So it could go straight up here towards the resistance, 30s, come back all the way back towards, let's say, 2950s, and then makes the move. If not, look for a quick move higher and for it to hold 30s on pullbacks because you could get a quick sweep back into that, let's say, 2990 range. All right, what's going on out there? How we doing? What's up, future day trader? How we doing? You're back at it? It's good to see you. Been working hard? Hey, no worries, man. It's good to see you. Definitely. It's good to have you back. And of course, we'll be taking a look at the action. And family's all good here. We're just going to continue moving along and staying safe because it looks like things in the Middle East are definitely troubling. And it just reminds us here, here being in the States, a lot of times people like to argue about things. But the truth is we have it good here and we're safe. And that's already something to have, right? JD, China stocks starting to pull back here, guys. As we start to get the pullback, you got to start asking yourself, do you start to jump in? And when do you jump in for this China trade? I think we need to start looking for about 50% retracements, if not maybe a little bit less than that. So we can start to take a look at that for Baba. That's going to be a closer retracement, closer towards $100, maybe 147. But right back into this gap, that's what I'll be looking for, at least back into kind of the 105. So if anything, these look like a little bit of shorts today, right? But they're not going to be quick moves. At least I don't feel like. Of course, you can watch other kind of names there too. PDD up there towards 146. So if we take a look at this to see where it came from and where it broke out from and where it could retrace, I could see it coming back here into the gap, let's say towards 130. So areas like that, 50% retracement of the recent move, I'll be watching for in these China names. And you can take a look at KWeb today, right? You look at KWeb, you're talking your China internet one, and you're talking an ETF, right? You could also play this on the pullback, right? And at least you're not having exposure just to one name, but you're giving yourself the opportunity. So the pullback could be on this towards, let's say, 3270s or 33s, right? And so somewhere in that range, at least 34, I could see a pullback. So this will be in play, and it's already dropping, right? And this will actually affect the Qs and actually make the Qs not look as sexy today. Even though a lot of people are expecting, oh, well, Nvidia is going to the moon today. Well, the truth is you might not be paying attention to what the market's paying attention today, or maybe Nvidia lifts all boats today, with the tide coming in from Nvidia, right? So we'll see what happens there, guys. FXI, another way to maybe short this, right? You guys can take a look at the Yang for a long, right? I could already see this getting a little lift there. It's already towards 323s this morning. It was trading at 308. So it's not going to give you the biggest return. You have to go bigger in size, but the risk could be tight. 80,000 account in the 20 limited value. Had to go back to work to pay for more evals. That's funny, man. Baba, $32 in the last month. That is crazy. Yeah. And the best part is everyone wanted to focus elsewhere and focus on other stocks. Or I even saw mentions right before this that, oh, how bad China stocks were. That is always a sign of opportunity. When you hear someone say how bad an area is, take a look at it. You might find something, a diamond in the rough. And that's what Baba was. It was a diamond in the rough, man. And it was down there plenty of times. It gave you more than opportunities. And what do I say when you're looking at these? If you're trying to find the diamonds in the rough, use the monthly candles, man. The monthly candles will help you. You can see here how Baba traded what? Sideways on the monthly for what? 8 months. 8 months gave you opportunity to catch those lows around $70. You could have been slowly piecing a piece in. And as the stock pops to 90, you can either sell a little bit of that piece and try to recollect some back down towards the support. So now that you're at the monthly resistance, it makes sense also to pull back, right? And so things like that, I'll be looking at monthly resistance right here around the 111s. So of course, this is where we start to turn back to the downside. Where could we pull back to? 100, reload, and then break through the 120s is what I could be looking for in Baba. We'll see what happens there. But things to look at, guys. And I really tell you guys to take, if you're thinking about things in a long-term sense, take a look at the monthlies. It just might help you out. All right, let's take a look. What else is out there? Had it on the watch list. Yeah, the monthlies are a big watch there, future. If you can take a look at the monthlies, that will give you that sign that, yes, you're finally getting above the monthly high here, and that I can get after it, right? 85, risk off of the 80s here. It wasn't too bad. Even if you're risking down towards the 70, give yourself 10 points. Where does the stock go? It goes and makes a $20 to $30 run. So 3 to 1. So the key is giving yourself room on Baba too. That's one thing I've noticed. If you don't give yourself, let's say, even like 5 points or something like that, you ain't going to be able to probably get around Baba's volatility. And the big thing is this thing loves to jump back and forth. Sim already getting a little bit of a lift this morning, so I would watch that one, guys. It's already starting to get a little bit of a push here. I like the way that the daily setup came back to the 9 EMA, and it's a prior resistance looking at that right there. So I think this is aligned pretty good off the 23 here. And you guys saw it this morning around that 23. It was at that 23 twice, at 9 a.m. and at 8 a.m. So now we're getting a reversal off of that 23. I'd look for one more attempt to the VWAP or maybe 23.10s. But other than that, this looks good today, guys, for a prime move. We'll be watching Zim to see if the shippers finally make a move. All right, guys, you guys out there tuning in on X, on YouTube, let me know. What are you guys watching this morning? What can we get after? And what maybe you guys are looking at on the short side of things? I'll still be watching the banks to see if those can go lower. Of course, I made a good trade earlier in the week on Citi. We'll watch to see if that goes right back down. But also XLF in play and different plays out there right now. HIMS continuing on the downside. We'll see what happens with HIMS. That definitely still looks like a short opportunity. I'd just be looking for some pop backs to see what happens there. Nvidia showing up on the scanners. I can go to some of the smaller ones. I've been trying my best to stay away from these, but you know how it is, guys. EVgo, look at that thing. That thing is ripping 518s now, guys, and continuing to climb this morning a little bit further than I think it should have gone on the kind of the price rating. But hey, it doesn't matter. It's getting the lift. We'll see if some other ones get the lift on this, right? There's Blink charging. Blink charging, of course, not moving right now, but I'd keep an eye on it, right? Is EVgo is going to get the move? Maybe you start to see some different charging, start to get a little bit of a lift. ChargePoint is another one, right? That's $1 stock, man. It's crazy to think this stock is $1, but definitely I'd keep it on the watch, right? If EVgo really starts to make a move, maybe these can try to shake the downside action. Nothing that I'd look at right now. Only I'd look at it if I start to see EVgo up 50, 60%. Then I start to look to see if the algos want to go scooping up the other names. Good morning. How we doing, FJF? It's good to see you. Let's see what else we got this morning. Let's see what we can come up with. I see Tiger in the chat there. Of course, you're talking about your China fintech. Those stocks have been slowly going up there. If you've been seeing some of these names, now you know why, right? Looking around to see what else is moving. The Q's going lower and lower, man. That's a little frustrating. I'm telling you guys, I really wish I would have had that position in the morning, but it's already getting there, right? It's already coming down towards that spot. And this is the problem, right? Because we're going right back to that 4 a.m. bottoming. I was hoping that we were going to be back towards the 482s towards the open because I was really looking for the short and the VIXY to take the spike. Now we're down, so I'll actually have to look for a little bit of a spike back to look for opportunities. I hate chasing when we're already on the breakdown spot, right? Because we are moving really closer towards that breakdown spot where we go towards the hourly lows around the 477.90s and could be at 476 in a hurry. I think you got to keep your eyes on names like Google that have been strong. If they go into the red, then you already know. Apple's have been weak as of late. Will this make another red move, right? Can Nvidia go red on a day like today? Well, that's something definitely to watch because if Nvidia goes red today, it starts to show you. Can the CEO hold it up? He tried everything yesterday to make it seem, right? I think he was using like incredible demand and things like that. So definitely smash the like, support us so we can support you guys and continue growing right here on Trade the Pool. We want to get to some more traders. The number one way you guys can truly help me, it's not even just the like button. It's hit that share button. Let everybody know about this stream and let them determine just how good it is, right? Just give them the idea, right? Come over. Let me know what you think of the stream, right? That's what it's all about here, trying to keep pushing forward and kind of helping you guys see what's going on in the market, give you guys some trading ideas. And like always, you guys choose the actions, press the buttons, but we keep battling here, and that's for certain. Let's see what happens there. Nvidia, will it get the move today? It's definitely on the radar, guys. We'll look to see what happens. Nvidia is slowly still trickling up, yet the Qs are going lower. That's why I say keep an eye on Nvidia today, because if it takes a huge spike to the upside, the Qs could follow. What I'm looking to see is if the Qs take a quick down move, does it just wash out the Nvidia move? All right, we'll see what else is out there. XLE continuing higher, 91.10s, pulled back yesterday to the hourly support. Tuesday's high. So that was your way to play the XLE yesterday. We'll look to see if it continues just to climb the wave higher as energy continues to push. Looking around to see if anybody's finally talking about what's going on out there. QVC to add US pickleball to its home shopping experience. What a waste of an article. Oh man, sometimes when the articles make the front page and it's something BS like that, you know CNBC does not know what to put up today. Let me take a look to see if there's anything else being mentioned out there. Nothing's being mentioned about this Russia situation. I don't understand it, guys. Sometimes I see some headlines that really drive my attention, but maybe not all investors. I'll be keeping an eye on that action. Definitely. Not anything that I want to hear, but definitely caught my attention this morning. So we'll see what happens. Israel striking the heart of Beirut. Iran president is defiant. We'll see what happens, guys. There's definitely battles going on in Libya, so looks like there's ground forces finally making their way in. So it's going to be a battle out there, guys, and something definitely to continue to watch and see if the situation expands. Definitely the robo-taxis raising safety concerns. You see, I've already talked about that. And articles like that are going to make Tesla, if anything, go down a little bit further today. So we'll see what happens out the gates. It's going to be all dependent on watching to see what happens in the Nvidia and the tech situation. But of course, we've been looking at tech, and tech has been slowly climbing right back. But of course, could reject the 90 EMA today and come right back down. So keep your eyes on that action. We'll see if we start to see a little bit of a turnaround today to the downside. And so take a look to see what maybe RSI stocks that we can be going for, right? So I always look at what's extremely overbought and could be turning back to the downside. So of course, PDD shows up on that. CEG, where that one's really high. Of course, the nuclear power plays. You got Meta up pretty strong, right? And 86 on the RSI, but starting to pull back to that 9 EMA. Maybe we start to come back towards the 560s today, especially on a red day. Cisco starting to pull back as this has been really hot, guys. Now could just start to pull back closer towards 51 and 50 and looking for a reload. I'm seeing Dash hold up there. DoorDash doing pretty well as of late, man. This has gotten up a little bit higher than I expected. Google could do that turnaround, of course, higher in the RSI. And then once we get to the lower 70s, it doesn't seem that serious. Let's take a look at the RSI here. So a lot of times for me, RSI is not that important. What's going to be more important to gauge the market is historical RSI. So that's what I look at, guys. So if you're looking at RSI, you go back on the daily and you say, where does this turn around? Where does it usually turn around? It usually turns around when it hits here, right? You can see it hit multiple times here, and there's a couple wicks through, but a lot of times you're turning around in that area. So around the 84 seems to be the topping in Marriott when it starts to RSI historically overbought. Now we start making our way back to the oversold side. Will we be able to make our way all the way down? Hey, a lot of times it happens, right? So you went over here to the 91, and then you slowly trickle right back down here towards the 16 low, or maybe even 11s. Where's the oversold sign? So then you're going to talk about around the 18 level, right? And so when you come back to the 18, that's usually when it's oversold and has a tendency of getting a bounce to the upside. These are ways that you guys can also take a look at the SPY and the overall market. I do this all the time, guys. I take a look here and I'm like, well, all right. So in the last, let's say, couple of years, right, where does it seem to stop on the upside? Well, there's not many wicks past this level, 95 on the upside. Not even pull it back a little bit further closer towards here. So let's say 91. So anything into the 90s, it definitely starts to get to the point where you're pushing and could turn right back down. Now you've hit that a couple of times lately and now are starting to make your way back down. And you can see it works, right? Topping right here. A couple of days, it tries to make an attempt. You get a negative divergence where the RSI is coming down, but the price action was going up. And then what comes into play? Well, the price action starts to follow the RSI. In this case, the RSI has come down significantly, and the price action is starting to come down, but not significantly yet. So I think today would be that day to kind of look to see if you get RSI to start moving back up, or does it go to the 50 and you start to see the price action continue to follow? Maybe a move back towards 560 today on the SPY could be in play. The leak there stopped a little bit there. We'll see what happens towards the bell. We got about 5 minutes here towards the bell, about 5.5 minutes. We'll see if we get opportunities here to maybe play some downside. All right, what's going on out there, guys? It's good to see you. Not much today either. Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, and maybe Dell. I did see a big insider sell in Dell. I think it was the CEO or the president or maybe the founder. I know it's somebody named Dell. I think it was Michael Dell. But in this case, I heard an insane amount of sell volume. And that's why you can see that kind of turn around really quickly there in Dell. Be a little bit concerned with this. Here it is. There's that day where it kind of showed up and it was a big sell. So we'll see what happens. It is below that level and could be on the pullback. This looks a little bit head and shoulders here. Like if you guys see it here, this is the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Could be breaking big underneath this 106. Goes back to that 106. I'd be a little bit concerned. that you fill the gap right back down where you were at the 90. So we'll see what happens there in Dell. All right, looking around to see if there's anything else. Of course, we'll all be awaiting Friday's job number. That's going to be on alert, so don't miss that, guys. We got about 3 minutes and 57 seconds here. 3 minutes and 50 seconds for the bell. Stay safe out there, traders, today. And you never know what could be moving here. But if I look at the smaller names, I'm already seeing ChargePoint move a little bit. I talked about how you could see sympathy come into play with some of these charging plays as EV Go. It just takes a big lift, right? Well, ChargePoint already getting a little bit of volume to come in it. You can see it with a 15-minute, 241,000 shares, as this will be in play for a smaller play. If you're looking at one today, it's not a bad one to watch, right? Could be making a move back towards the next hourly resistance. Right now, you're on the hourly resistance prior. That's the 135, but you could take that out and start making a move towards 145 and 150. All right, let's see what else is out there. What can we do? You can purchase an additional 90 days and continue some progress. Yeah. It's hard to keep the eval going when your time is starting to run out, and even my time is starting to run out in the main account, guys. So gonna have to start stepping it up and not being afraid of, let's say, having that kind of risk avoidance, right? You got to keep pushing it, man. And I'm getting closer and closer towards the time running out on that eval. So I'll figure it out, right? There's two ways of going about it. I can just go about it slow and continue to push, but the expiration comes faster than you know it, guys. My expiration coming up in a week, guys. So it's time to push it. So I think I'm just going to push it, guys. What do you guys think, man? I've been up in this account. It's, of course, the extra buying power. You know what, guys? Let's talk a little bit more about this, right? We got about a minute or two before the bell, but I just want to kind of show you guys the way that things have been working. And it's been a tough time, right? I was moving in the right direction, guys. In the lower sizing, maybe that's the way to approach it, guys. But I'm always as transparent as can be, guys. So here you guys see it. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see that equity balance. And you guys can see it here, guys, how we were going up. And then I ran into the sizing battle, right? And you guys can see it. It's been a little bit of a battle, right? Coming right back into the red, then right back into the green, got up there about 2,300. It's been a battle, right? And I just got to keep battling here, guys. So that's one thing that I'll definitely try to keep pushing and get into that next level. We'll see what happens with this, right? And just got to continue to try to get after it and see what I can do, right? If it doesn't work out this time, hey, guess what? I can always go after it again. Learning more and more how to deal with the bigger size. And that's so important, right? Something that I'm not used to. I'm not used to trading 3,000-4,000 shares, right? It's just not something that I normally do. So I have to find my way, right? Same here, Conrad saying, hit the 2,000 ceiling, right? Yeah. It seems to be like that ceiling right now, right? And it doesn't mean that I can't push it past it, but I also just start as soon as I start sizing up, it's hard to determine when to take the trade off, when to take the profits and things like this. There's still some subjectiveness that I need to kind of work through. The truth is, got to work at it, right? There's only one way. And there's one thing's for certain. I'm going to be transparent and show you guys it all so you guys can understand. It's a struggle, right? That's what it's about. How long is the eval? 45 days. You got 45 days to get after it. So it's not nothing insane, right? But the truth is, you have to be trying to think about things in the sense that you got to make like 2K a week. And if you have a red week, you have to be thinking about things like maybe I need to make 3K a week. So you can have that $1,500 red week or something like that, right? The first 2 days, 1,500 drawbacks, but up 1K now. That's how it is, Conrad. It's hard. It's really hard. And the big thing is, I think, is getting that first cushion. Getting past that 2,000 is something that we'll all be working at. And I was just making a nice move this week, and then of course yesterday take a hit back, right? I made a nice little $1,200 trade on Friday. Let's see if we can come up with that $2,000 trade. That's really when you start to step up. $1,500, $2,000 is not a bad trade there. Let's see what we can do today, and let's keep getting after it, right? There's only one way, and that's not being afraid, guys. So let's see what we can come up with, guys. It's 9:30. Let's go, team. Let's see what the market gives us today. It's time. Let's go, traders. Let's go. Stay safe out there, traders. Let me know what you guys are seeing. First action is up for the market, but looking to see the VIXI take off here. VIXI right now already starting to show that kind of push here. I would love to see a quick little pullback here. It's at the 35s, could just push into the 40s right now. We're looking at this morning. It was down there towards 13.16. So starting to get a little spike there. Watching Nvidia as Nvidia starts to the downside there. That tells me enough, right? Watch out to see buyers step in on Nvidia. But I'm watching the market action right now. There goes the Qs on the downside there. SPY looking really kind of weak right now, but not really breaking. So let's see what happens here. I'm just being patient at first. I'm looking for some pullbacks action here and really trying to stay looking at the sectors, right? Let the sectors tell me what's moving today and not overreact to what I'm seeing, right? Because the first action, of course, up and down all the time, right? So let's take a look to see what's leading here today. I see Pakar up to 100. Man, I'm missing the trade that I've been trying to get for a long time, guys. This 100 trade, right? And now we're finally starting to prop here. So XLI has been looking good with Lockheed Martin. So keep that on watch. I'll see if Dell or Deere can catch again and Cat can catch. Pakar trying to make the 100 move here today. And boy, oh boy, nice little spike right out the gates here above that 100. I'd look for pullbacks now to 99.50s. Let's see if I can get that pullback. I'll take a trade on this. I got no problem with it. It's up there towards 162 right now. Just need a pullback to the VWAP. I don't like taking, just off the highs here. But Pakar, can we get a little bit of a push here? Hourly and daily looking good here. You can see it on the hourly, how it's been trying to kind of load in here, and now can make a little bit of a pullback. I'll be watching for the pullback layer, maybe around 99.40s, 99.30s. So let's see if we can get that pullback here and take a shot in Pakar to the upside. Qs to the upside, definitely seeing that push, but still seeing the VIXI go higher. That's a little bit concerning. When the VIXI is going higher, look at the SPY. The SPY still hasn't made an up move. The Qs are making an up move. And I'd keep an eye out to see what's doing well in that technology. So really quickly, I want to see what's leading in the Qs here to the upside. I'll tell you guys, it's Pakar, Tesla, AMD, PDD, ARM, Micron, Lam Research, AVGO, Workday, Qualcomm, Nvidia now starting to make the up move. And I talked about it. Nvidia is going to be a lot of how the market moves today. If it just rips to the upside, it could still be an upside day, right? SPY following that now. As the SPY follows that action, I'm looking for Pakar on the pullback here, but it might not get towards the 100. Let's see what happens here. Come on, Pakar, come back to me. Of course, we're talking farm and heavy construction. Zim giving me an alert there, guys. Zimming, guys. So take a look at Zim as that pushed up above towards the 2385s, but now pulling back and reloading here. I talked about how the 23 seems to make sense. So now I'm looking to see if we can come back into the VWAP somewhere like 2330s, catch some buyers here, and then really get to see Zim start to take the lead in the shipping stocks. We'll see what happens with this today. Watching it, guys. Looking for some signs there that we're starting to get a push in the shippers. GLBS is another one that kind of keep an eye out for. I haven't seen too much action there just yet, but I'll be watching, guys. I'll be watching. Q's and SPY, definitely a big push there, guys. Picard doesn't want to pull back for the time being. I'm watching it. Deer looks like it's trying to pull back and then maybe could get a little bit of a buy. That's on the hourly pullback here. Actually breaking down a little bit there. 410 is like kind of that pullback and then could start making its way back towards 420s. But that was a nice little run there. Cat, maybe that gets the lift towards 400 today. Looking to see if that can recover. XLI, not trying to recover there. What's doing well on XLI? Love alert, love alert, American Airlines alert. Those are going higher. Those don't look too bad. Maybe we start to get good mentions from the holidays about these. And as oil is a big watch, right? If oil starts to go lower, that'll help these. American, nice spike out the gates here, guys. I'm seeing a nice little move there. UAL, a lot of airlines showing up there in the industrials. All right, let's take a look there. Archer on the pullback. Wheeler. I'm not touching Wheeler, man. Someone yell at me if I trade Wheeler, please. Someone yell at me. I'm done. Damn, that 60-second was closed. Amazon short. Let's go. Let's go. Get it. Get it. Picard pulling back there. Going to give me that opportunity here. I like this, guys. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here in just a second in Picard. Just need a little bit more pullback here. Looking for the 15-minute resistance to hold. 98.85 could come into the 99 a little bit closer here. So watching it on the pullback, looking for a little bit lower here into the 99.30s, 99s. Putting out 99.30s and 99 right there, but the spread's about 20 cents. That's one thing I will keep in mind with Picard. It is trying to reclaim that 100. Google not looking too weak right now. I'm watching Google. It's at the 166. Qs are still strong. SPY, big wick on the up. Big kind of candles, but not really going anywhere. Went up to the resistance, right back to the support. VIXY still staying hot, guys. It came back to 26, staying at the top end of the range here. Picard trying to recover that 100 right now. Well, let's see if we're able to get a starter in this. I still have no entry in this. Need a little bit further pullback to get the starter on. Have some orders out there, but I don't want to jump up too high. Just trying to get this really quickly. If I get a quick pullback, could get caught back below the 99 here. So just trying to grab a little bit of some pullback here and then go after Picard and not overextend right now. As much as I want to jump right there on the VWAP, I'll tell you guys, I'm trying to wait for a little pullback to the 99. Maybe I'm being a little bit picky here. We'll see what happens. Back into the 100 on the offer there. It looks like they're trying to take it off the 130s. There was some sizing that came in there at the 99.70s, so that tells me more VWAP entry. Someone took 2,500 shares there. Google right back down as the SPY starts coming down and the VIXY starts to make the up move. Looks like it wants to break through the 30-40s here. Going to take a look at the VXX. That's another way to maybe take some trades action here in the VIX, guys. It moves a little bit more, right? So this moves closer towards like $1 or $2 when it makes a breakout. So watching that right now, it's already starting to get a little spike here. You guys can see it. It came down right back up there. So we'll see what happens on the VXX. One way that I might start taking a look and taking a bigger trade in a faster moving VIX vehicle, right? SPY looks like it's pulling back here. Looks like I might get opportunities for Picard. I'm going to like lower down my entry here because we are going into the red a little bit there in the SPY. Qs are still staying strong, but I'd keep an eye on that Nvidia, right? That's what's going to be a big watch right now. It's still green right now, and just watching the Qs especially. It's interesting to see the SPY at the low, the VIX at the top, and then yet the Qs also trying to break out. Okay, if I take a look at what's up from the open, only technology. So technology is what's leading us a little bit higher. If that breaks, we could go down. Energy is trying to recover some. MRO is one that I'm watching. 28 pulled back, 27.90s looking good right now. We'll see if we get another move higher in oil. We did get a quick pullback in XOM. So XOM actually looking pretty decent on the hourly pullback, but I think we get a little bit further pullback in oil today, and then can go higher. It just depends on the Middle East situation. That's the harder one to make a call on. Charge point taking towards the 136 EV go, pulled back there. We'll see if it takes another step up there. It's trying to go right back towards the high. Pakar still hasn't given me that attempt here. I'm still just trying to be patient on Pakar. Q's trying to go higher there. SPY trying to catch a little bit of the bounce. Nvidia is the leader right there. Nvidia took the 122s, trying to push there. Order out at 99.30s. We're at 99.39 on the bid for Pakar, looking for the move towards 99. Just trying to get the starter in here. Q's going higher. I might have to step up here at the 99.50s. Going towards the 99.40s to try to get the first entry here. Trying to get an entry in Pakar here. Q's taking off there, back towards the upside. VIX's starting to pull back. I'm trying to step up here in Pakar, but still no entry there. All right, guys, I'm going to step up here. I'm going to jump up a little bit. Still looking for a little bit of a pullback, but it just grabbed 100 shares there, Pakar. Just trying to get a little bit of a starter here. Would like to get this to pull back a little bit. Just grab the 99.53s. I still got an order out there at the 99. Looking for a little bit of a dip further, but if I don't get it, I want to at least have that piece in already. So starter on here in Pakar. We'll see what happens, guys. Taking a shot today in the industrial space. Q staying strong. Want to see the SPY stay strong. The SPY just does a wipeout move to the downside. We could look to see that the VIX starts to push. Pakar trying to hold in right now. Just mainly about the SPY right here. Qs are still holding on right now. We'll see what happens in Google. Will it come right back up? Not trying to overextend right now, but taking a look at the action there. Nvidia 122.60, so that's what's leading, right? You guys can clearly see Nvidia pushing. That's leading the Qs. Industrials, I'm looking to see if they get into the green, because if not, Pakar is probably not going to get the move that I'm looking for here. SPY needs to go up. All right, looking around, guys, the VXX back down to $54 here. Looking at it to take an attempted move here to see what happens. Will we get a quick downside in the SPY? Seeing fears being mentioned in the news, so that's going to give that downside outlook there. VIX's trying to take off as the SPY heads to the low. Will the SPY just catch the bottom there? Nvidia still going higher. Picard back to the upside. So trying to ride that out here. Looks good on that first spike for Picard. I'm going to try to get some add on the pullback here. But the SPY still heading down a little bit. That's where it gets a little bit concerning here. VIX heading right back to the upside. This VXX looked good there off the 54s. There's the first lift there for Picard. Back towards 120s. I'll go to Picard so you guys can see it here. Let's see if this just takes off here. SPY heading down. That's where it gets a little bit weary because the SPY's on the downside there. Want to see the industrials make a move there, but look how they're going to the downside here, and Picard is going essentially against it. Farvin heavy construction going straight down, but Picard on the upside there. So just got to keep it tight here. Looking to see if we get reversals in the SPY back to the upside. Nvidia still leading, guys, still leading. Deer down the 410, so that's another way to play this also if you're looking for the reversal back to the upside here. SPY still lagging there. Still doesn't want to make an up move, at least just yet. VIXI to the 1340s there, so still seeing the VIXI get a spike, guys, so that's a little bit concerning there. SPY starting to head down to the downside here. Q's back at that imported 481.50s. You got through it, but now starting to reject it. All right, guys, just set break even there on Picard. Just going to watch it here. I even took off my ad. It just seems like it's back and forth in the SPY. Little confusing markets when you're getting the Qs to go up like this and the SPY to go down like that. It's just not something normal that you see often. So you got to keep looking to see what happens here. Is it a downside action move? And then the VIXI starts to take off there. The VIX already showing that strength tells me that the SPY is a little bit more of the concern to me than the upside Qs. The Qs look fine, but if Nvidia just takes a wipe to the downside, the Qs probably come right back down here. So definitely technology is the leader to the upside right now, but it's the only thing to the upside, right? That's a concerning sign. What's red? Defensives, basic materials, financials. So I talked about XLF breaking that 45 and going lower. We're seeing it right now. Look at Citi down big, guys. I'm missing the trade there. A little frustrated on missing the bank trade. Look at Goldman Sachs straight down there. So that's where the leak is coming from. It's coming from that financials. XLF was on the playbook today. And look at that, straight down out the gate. So looking to see if that bounces, but boy, oh boy, I'm missing that trade right now. This is where it gets a little frustrating, right? Because I'm trying to take a look at everything in the market at once and not focused on these. Should have had some alerts set there. That's the way to get around that, is have the alerts ready so that it tells you, hey, heads up, you're missing this trade. Because right now I can see the financials and they're looking pretty bad. Discover going lower. Is Visa and MasterCard going lower? Yes, they are. And so those are definitely going to be affecting and playing into this. Let's take a look at the KRE, the retail, regional banks, really taking a hit also. This looks pretty bearish, guys. XLF looks pretty bearish on the daily. I talked about how this level was important, this 45. Would we go to this 44.70s? We're there in a hurry. So let's see if it bounces and comes to the VWAP, and then we get opportunities for shorts. That's what I'll be watching. Even in JPM, you can see it rejected the VWAP this morning and went down to the 204. So pretty weak there. Pakar stopped out break even. It still looks good there, but the market can't come back just yet. And that's what has me a little bit concerned. If the market was higher, if the SPY was above VWAP, I'd be holding the Pakar trade, if anything, going bigger. But I can see this Qs look like they want to break down right here. Nvidia has been strong, but hold on. We'll see what happens here. Will we get the Qs to start to break down here? Or will the SPY just go up? I mean, you got both trades available to you right now, and that's the hard part to make the decision there. The chop, man. It's hard for me to see which way the market's going. A lot of times I can see it right now. It ain't it. Qs and SPY goes different ways. Not necessarily. They're made up of a lot of the same stocks. They do have some exposure in different areas. But if you look at it, they very rarely go in opposite directions. Very rarely. Just Nvidia that's kind of keeping that up. Let's take a look at the Qs, some relative strength there. AMD, ARM, those names are holding up right now. PDD is still holding up. So China names actually holding up right now, giving you an opportunity on the China pullback, right? So if you feel like this is going to go straight back up, well, there you go. But if you feel like this is going to pull back, get that opportunity too. China stock staying strong, holding up the Qs also. So if you're wondering what's holding up some of this Qs, some of it is the China action. Tesla now pulling back to the VWAP. Going to be a big spot to watch right now, guys. Will the SPY make a break to the lows? Will industrials go lower? I think right now we just got to keep watching. That's falling fast. Is it Lockheed Martin here? No, it's not. What's getting hit so hard in the XLI? I want to see it. So you got Generac taking a big hit. Rockwell, UPS. Ooh, that's not good. FedEx taking a hit, down 1%. Boeing taking another hit. Yes, Boeing, you're going to the 150. Get the hell out of here, Boeing. We don't need you no more, Boeing. Strike still going on with Boeing, and they're hitting Boeing hard today, man. That would have been a nice short there off the 152.22s. You got that short. That's as textbook as it comes. Nice trade there in Boeing this morning. That's what has me not going long on this Pakar trade. It looks great, guys. It setup wise, it's great. The question is, will the industrials come back into play? Setup's there. It's just hard to go long it because the SPY is so weak here. Will the SPY just play the move back to the upside? That could be a play too. If you're feeling this is going to go right back up, well, the SPY is starting to play the move to the upside there. And SPXL could be the move there. Now you're starting to see that lift. Pakar starts looking a little bit better here. It's hard. It's hard to make this choice right now between the SPY. I'm seeing the SPY jump a little bit, so I'm going to take a shot here and Pakar to the upside here. Could go SPXL also, so I just went long on Pakar there. Looking to see if the SPY going back up could affect it back to the upside there. You can see the SPY trying to climb back up. I'm just going to look to see if Nvidia can just continue to stay hot and the Qs not make a wipeout move to the downside through that 481.50s. Deer off the 410s is another outlook to kind of look into. That could be a way to kind of play this move if we start to get the upside. SPY just playing with me now, guys. You can see the SPY just went right back down to the 567. So tried to get the love, tried to get the jump, and then got hit hard. Google going up, Nvidia going up. So I'm watching to see that the Qs stay strong there. Qs trying to break towards the 482.16s there. Bakar still looking good there. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 bottomings attempts. So won't let it go through the 99.30. He's going to step up here and take a shot. 99.30s kind of bottoming out multiple times on the 1 minute. You can see it here. So we had that attempt to right now, and could see a little attempt to 40s and then right back through the hundreds. So just keeping that watch, but definitely won't let it go through like 99s right now. Just holding on tight. Looks good as it starts to approach the 70s. I need the SPY to approach up, and that looks good right there. So that gives me the signal to take the shot. I just added there. Looking for another nice little pop into the 100. Got 300 shares. Might have to step up on this Bakar and go for it, guys. Of course, you guys know how the account is slowly but surely coming to an end in the eval days. So I got to take shots. Got to take shots. That's for certain. We'll be opening up, of course, the limited account and looking to see what happens in the SPY. If the SPY takes off, I can go VIX short. Q's taking off there. Nvidia, big push there. So it's going to be more about if the Qs can just stay strong out there. That's one way to play it. So upside in the Qs right now is not a bad way to play that. If you're playing some of those tech names to the upside, you got opportunities, right? So hey, that's doing well. Utilities are starting to come back. Let's see what goes green other than technology in the next, let's say, 30 minutes. What's up out there, guys? How we doing? Only able to get 500 shares short on Joby. Hey, that's how it is, man. Joby down to 567s. Bakar now going into the green, starting to prop, looking for the move into the 100. It's all about on the SPY here for me. If the SPY can make the next move, I'll be looking good in here. So looking to see if we can start making a move towards 100, and I can add one more time and really look for this to kind of make the move here. All right, going into the 70s, into the 80s. It's looking good here. Let's see if we can get towards above the VWAP. VWAP 99.76, starting to prop above that, but not seeing the stocks kind of buying there. So need to see a little bit more buy action. Nvidia is the lead right now, guys. And I talked about that right at the open, how Nvidia would be a big lead today, guys. And a lot of people were stressing this morning on why wasn't it up more? Well, it did the red to green right back up there to 123s. I hope somebody was able to make money on that pattern. It was a good pattern. I need to maybe sometimes trade it a little bit more Nvidia, but that looks good right now as it makes its way. It could go all the way up to 125.50s. That's where I see the daily resistance coming into play. So you still got rays away from that. We'll see what happens. SPY now making that move like it wants to go towards the resistance high. Could step up to the plate here a little bit more in Bakar, but got to be careful, right? There's that first spike into the 80s. Looks good there. 90s starting to show up there for us here. Now I'm looking for any pullback into the 99.80s, 99.70s to add that. There it goes. It's coming right back. It's giving me the opportunity to add a little bit more here. SPY heads quickly to the upside there. I'm trying to add here. I just threw out a 78 just to have an order out there. All right, with that move, I'm going towards the limited account and looking for a VIX short here as it starts to really kind of tumble here on the VIXy. So the tumble already has happened. I'm looking for any kind of pushback here to maybe come after it a little bit. And the SPY just starts to play a little bit of games. It's starting to come back a little bit here. And the SPY did make an attempt to the break above 568.20s, but just as simple as that, it's right back down. So I'm going to go back towards the main account and just focus on that Bakar trade right now. Just got hit there on the pullback there. So now I got 400 at 66. So just got to really keep a very close eye on it because it's starting to up the range here and definitely up the risk. All right, little pullback there, and it's all on the SPY, man. The SPY playing games. Now it just made a rip to the upside there. Just saw a rip on the SPY, and then it's just a wick. What is going on here, guys? Definitely 10 o'clock numbers coming in and affecting here. Seeing the wick, taking a dumping there. The SPY making a quick move to the upside there. So looking good in Picard. I'm going to step up here and see what I can do, man. But this is a tough trade action. I'll tell you that much. Look at the SPY put in that big wick there. Man, this one's a hard one, guys. First reaction was to the upside. Was it a fake out? Seeing Deere start to reclaim. That looks good there. I'm taking the shot, guys. I just stepped up a lot more, guys. 600 shares now in Picard. This is going to be a big time trade for me, or it could be big risk. Now I just got to stay tight and focus on the trade. There's the first action getting to the upside. Now we're starting to look good. I'm up 200 here. Just looking for Picard to kind of rip out here. Got to be careful for quick pullbacks. Right now, risking about 118. Nice rip out there in Google, guys. Nice rip out in Google. SPY pushing strong, guys. SPY pushing strong. So if you guys played that SPXL trade, oh, you're probably looking gravy. Look at the pullback in Picard. Come on, get back above that 100. $97's right there approaching. The thing is the spread. I got to give it a little room because of the spread. If I want to keep it break even here, but the truth is I got to give it a little bit of room to kind of work here. 99.60s, 99.50s, really. Risking about 160 in this trade right now. We'll see what happens. Let's go looking elsewhere. I got to go try and trade in the limited account and jump on the momentum right now and seeing what I can find. Q's taking a big rip to the upside. So that's going to affect, of course, like your TQQQ trade and things like that. Look at that push now, 70.48s. Big push up in technology today. It's leading the whole market and rising all the boats, right? Now you're getting energy into the green. So there's actually trades that are going into the green there. XOM could be definitely one to watch as it starts to kind of recover there off the 121s. Gush is one that I'm looking at as it starts to make a little bit of an up move. Not too bad as it starts to reclaim that $30. We'll look to see if it makes a run here. 30.50 is kind of into play. Nothing crazy, but watching it. SPY made a nice rip there, but we still haven't gotten a follow through on Picard. Taking a look here at the watch list, SMCI up big here. It is reversing right now. How are those shippers doing today? Let's take a look here. Zim back down below the 23. So the shipper's not making the move right now. That's for sure. We'll look to see if it recovers back. Nvidia slowing down here at the top, guys. So that is one thing I will put out there, that it is slowing down a little bit here at the 123.50s. Will we see all of a sudden a downturn in Nvidia? It's slowing down a little bit here. Could come back to the VWAP, right? 122. It's trying to hold that 9 EMA, make another attempt towards the high there. There you're getting that attempt. SPY ripped right back up though. That was a nice little play if you got it on the 567s. So XPXL would have been that play off the 158 towards the 159s. That's not a bad trade at all if you were able to nail that. What's up, guys? Mitch, what do you have on your swing account? I only have CRM. I have nothing right now, man. There's too much craziness, up and down swings right now to be taking too many of the swing trades right now. So right now I have nothing on that, man. And trust me, I want to, but there's nothing on. I'll show you it. That's the account right here. Nothing on, man. Nothing on. Am I looking at maybe adding something? Yeah, I'd maybe look at MSOS again, because I did get out of this thing with a very tiny hit. Was looking to reload into this, looking to see if we would ever get that bullish run towards 750. But that's just one that I want to have a little piece of for a little bit of a longer term move. SPY making a move though today, guys. That's interesting. Big push there in the SPY. We'll look to see if we get a big dump on, but boy, oh boy, it's been a nice rip. A car trying to go through that 100. I'm trying my best not to focus on it because, of course, I got a big trade on that one in the other account. The stop's already placed. Looking for it to rip through the 101s, and then I can come back to it and start focusing on it. This looks good too on the swing, so I appreciate you bringing that up, man. Gives me the opportunity to take this trade here, and I'm going to take it. And who knows, maybe I'm buying you lunch, my friend. But don't worry, I'll take the shot there. I'm going right back in the sizing that I had in this. I could also take a look at different areas to try to take some trades there, but I'm just taking the sizing that I had, and we'll look to see if this starts to make a move. I'll hold it really, really tight, right back towards the like 693s, 692s, only $42 of risk, looking for this to push higher through the 7. If it doesn't go through, hey, I don't need to be in it, right? Yesterday, it went to the 690s, so that could actually act as support again, but looking for a big rip above the 7s. Another way to kind of maybe play this is for the shippers to maybe take a little bit of a shot there. I could do that on the swing, but really, the shippers haven't moved for the strike. That's for sure. Airlines were hot this morning. Let's see if they get hot again. Love was one of those. So Love right back towards the VWAP. Now trying to make another move here. This looks good there for me. I'm going to go towards the limited account and see if I can make a trade on this. Love back towards 30.90s. It's about 50 cents higher here. Let's see what happens. SPY going higher. I like this trade here. Not MSOS. I almost made a mistake there. I hope you guys caught that, so you guys can learn from that. Always make sure you got the right ticker in the top. Ooh, SPY is going higher here. I just took a little bit of a long there on Love, and it's back down, of course, immediately. But let's take a look here. 15-minute could still pull it back towards the 1320s, 1330s. Looking for the VWAP to pretty much hold 1336. See if we can get these airlines to go right back through that. Going up towards 31 today on Love. That's kind of what I see here. Looking good right now. Just needs to take that 30.50. Not adding right now. I'm looking for the first pop here. Then I'll start to take a little bit more of a shot here. Here was a nice buy off that 409, 408 dip. That's already back to 412. I was looking at that one. Car got to 120, but started to slow down a little bit. I'm just keeping a watch on that. Nvidia strong, Google strong, guys. We've talked about how Google has been a really nice daily chart. One of the names to really watch here, and it's starting to make another move here. So I think on today, I can definitely watch Google, or maybe you can start taking a look to see if there's any leverage Google trades. I don't know if there is any out there. There it is. There is one. There's a direction GGLL. Well, there you guys have it. I didn't know there was one there. There's a leverage Google. 2 times the shares there on that one, and it's moving about 3 shares, 3 cents of the kind of the action there. So not a bad win to look at. Look for a pullback back below 37 today. We'll see if we get it. See if we get a pullback here back towards like 36.80s. Love pulling back a little bit here. Market pulling back. It's looking a little toppy, but to tell you the truth, that was a nice expansion move. It'd be wicked for it to come right back down. I'd be looking at Nvidia for that sign, but Nvidia has just been continuing up. Looking to see if Love wants to make another move here. The VIX's still going down there, but you can always get a little bit of a spike, right? SPY look a little toppy here, a little bit toppy on the 5 minutes, slowing down a little bit here, guys. We might get a little bit of a pullback opportunity. That's one thing I'm seeing here. All right, setting a really tight stop here on this. If it starts to come down, I want to get out really quickly here. Trying to be quick here on the limited account, as I do want to step up in sizing. But a big part of this is if the market comes right back down here, I definitely don't want to get caught on a whoosh back to support. So just right now on Love, making a really quick call on risk at only 4 ticks away. This could get me targeted, right? Like I talk about this all the time. When you show your hand and you put a stop out there, you get targeted. That's the truth. And that's why I don't like to put stops all the time, but it's going to happen sometimes. So what I like to do is maybe play with it a little bit. I just pulled it off a penny there to try to give it a little bit more room here as the algos try to bring it back and stop me out there, as the SPY trying to go higher here, but still hasn't made the move here. Here's a 30-50s trying to do another break to the upside here. As the SPY tries to go higher, let's see what happens. Maybe I add in Love here on the push and then just hold break even. Looks good there as it starts to recover that 30-50s. We'll see if it can start to really push here and making a move to 31s. Daily does look good there for a move back up towards 31.50s. Q's pulling back a little bit. Nvidia's that pullback, right? Back towards 122 as it looks like Nvidia is about to make that attempt. You could see how it's starting to pull back there. Could go right back to the VWAP, 122.50s. So Nvidia starting to pull back a little bit is a sign of concern there. The car going into the 122s. I'm going to leave this risk on right now on this, and I'm looking to add on this, but it's only if the SPY can continue pushing. SPY goes red. I think I'll get stopped out here in Love for a small stop out, $12. Giving it that room. I'm seeing the VIXy start to come back, so I got to go over to the other account here and probably maybe take the money and run in Pakar, or just at least set a stop there in Pakar in the green as I'm up 255 now. As the SPY pulls back here, I can set a stop and just try to make some money here. Just trying to make sure that I at least make a little bit of cash and use that a little bit later in the market if the market doesn't want to just keep riding higher. So right now I'm just going to secure $100. Nothing crazy. It's actually a small amount. But if it comes back on me, at least I take some gain here in Pakar, looking for another expansion move. But if the market comes back on me, need to be careful here. You can see how XLI could come right back down, right? XLF. I want to take a look at that. Cleveland Cliff, man, that's actually not doing too bad. XLF, though. Need to take a look at the banks to see if those are going to get red again. So that gives me an opportunity to take a look to see if we just go red now. Ooh, VIXy just jumping, guys, jumping. Holy moly, is it jumping? What just happened there, guys? Got to be careful here, guys. Got to be careful, but seeing that jump really quickly, guys, that was a quick jump in the VIX all the way up there to the 1346. Looking for some pullbacks there on the VIXy, but holy moly, that was a quick move there. Downside coming in the market really quickly here, trying to grab some of this, but I need a pullback. I need at least 35s on the pullback there. There goes the Pakar trade. Seeing that quick move in the VIXy. Boy, oh boy, what a spike there, guys. What a volatility spike there. As we got a spike, is there some situation going on here? We need to keep an eye on the market, guys. I've been talking about that. Keep your eyes on the market. Even out there on the streets, on Twitter, we need to keep watching to see what's going on in the situation in the Middle East. That could be what's going on here. So I'm just looking at it, right, guys? I'm just trying to find what's going on. Right now, I'm trying to find the answer first, but there's a pullback opportunity there into the 30s here. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here in the main account in the VIXI. Just took a little bit there, looking for a little bit more pullback into the 30s here. What the heck just happened there, guys? Anybody seeing anything on the tape right now? What is going on, guys? That was a quick move, guys. I'm long on the VIXI right now off the 38s, looking to see if this is going to go higher and keep pushing. Now getting a little bit further pullback here, so it's hard. It's hard. I'll tell you that, guys. Oh, man, Picard got me, and it's right back to 113 there. So that one might have been a little bit frustrating there. So Picard, we took the gains there, and it went right back up. We'll mention that. That was wicked, man. What the hell hit the tape there? President Biden discussing Israel striking Iran oil facilities. Non-manufacturing came in, and that's what caused the action. Non-manufacturing, 59.4 versus 56.3. PMI, 54.9 versus 51.7. Definitely getting the shake there with the economic data. And of course, I mentioned that Biden is discussing Israel striking Iran facilities with Bloomberg. That shook things up for sure. We got a quick move on that. Let's see if we get a follow through on that action, or will the market just go right back up? Was it just a quick shakeout? Could have very much been. And so this is where it gets difficult, team. I tell you guys, because the truth is that action wasn't expected, and it was really quickly there. A shake. Picard, I already kind of maybe messed up that trade, guys. So I will say that maybe should have held break even, took the money off there, had a really good amount of share size at a really good price level. So a little bit looking back at that and saying maybe I should have held on to Picard trade. But that's just looking back, hindsight 2020. Picard still looking great here. Now getting a further pullback here. So in a second, I'm going to go ahead and go for the ad here, but then I got to hold really tightly here as the VIXI is just dumping now, as it just made a quick spike, but that's how quickly it goes, guys. SPY right back up almost to the top end here. So back and forth market, guys. That's for sure. Looking to see if Nvidia is going back to the high. That's the big thing for me. Not seeing that, so I'm going for it, guys. I just added a little bit there on the VIXI. I got 1331s. All right, VIXI right on the VWAP. I could also go to the limited account and maybe short the VIXI and try to play both ways and see what happens, right? I could go for the VXX and try to maybe take a play on that one, right? You can see how that one goes a little bit further and a little bit faster. Nvidia on the downside there. Am seeing that start to pull back there. Q's also pulling back, Nvidia pulling back, so that's definitely going to be affected here. Will we get some ugly downside after that first move there? I'm going to try this VXX. I haven't traded it before. I'm going to try it here with the limited account and see what happens here. It's a fast mover, so you got to be careful. All right, just took a little bit there, 200 shares, nothing crazy, just a little simple size starter here. Risking about $50 right now on the first action. Want to see if it starts to get back above 54s and really starts to spike here. There's the spike towards the breakout.
I'm looking for 54s to show up, and then I'll add. There's 53.98s. And then it pulls back. There's 54s. I take the add. Now I move it to break even. So now I only have a $4 risk looking for the breakout here. Back through the high. It's about 200, 300 bucks. Could be pulling it a little too tight, but with the limited account, I need to be tight with it. It's okay to get back in if I need to. So now I have it really tight towards that 80s, looking for it to break through the 54s. But if it doesn't, I get out, right? So trying to stay in that with that ability to get in and out. Nvidia is the call right here, guys. I think that's really what you're looking at. Picard looks like it wants higher. That's one thing I see. Man, this one's a hard call out there. What do you guys think out there, traders? Let me know. What are you guys bullish, bearish right now? And protect the account, right? Like always, whichever side you're on. But man, it's a hard one today, guys. And it's been a hard 2 weeks. I can tell you guys from even experienced traders telling me that boy, oh boy, has this market been a tough one. All right, setting up here as the SPY. Looks like it's starting to pull back a little bit. The Qs look like it's starting to set back right now. Now the only question is what will happen? Nvidia looks like it's trying to hold that 122.80 area and go back through the 123s. It could make it in a hurry. So just keep your eyes on that. If you're looking for a bet, that's one way to bet to the upside here. We'll see what happens. I'm betting on downside action. But like always, you guys choose your own action there. We'll see what happens. Now we start to get into the 40s here. SPY looking heavy here. So with his Nvidia, now it starts to make the move. I add here and then go break even. That's what I'm going to do. So add there, break even, stop first. Set the stop now. Now look for a target profit on the upside breakout here. Looking to see this kind of rips to, there's 850s, there's 50s. Now I'm looking for it to try to take a quick little gain here, and then I'll look to try to reset up here. There you guys have it. Let's see if I can take the money and run here. Boom. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Quick trade there, guys. $690 there on the first action. Now I'm looking at the limited account. I want to go take the money in the limited account too. This is a nice little gain here. I just need to get to it and hold break even. Move the stop up a little bit as this starts to make the breakout. I'll look to secure here about 140. Secured 140, looking for the break higher. It's at 177. Let's see if it breaks higher. I already took the money off on the other account there. Quick little $600, $700 trade. Vic says bearish. That's what it was, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Now we're starting to really get that. And then it still hasn't been that real takedown, right? I'm just looking to see if this can really go now in the limited account and maybe make me a nice little gain here. There it goes, pulling back, trying to get me, guys. I'm pulling it back a little bit, securing 120 here, but looking for a little bit more. Looking to see if I can get that spike to just go to 270s here. It's about to hit me on the 120s. There it goes. It took my money, guys. The algos came back and grabbed me, and look how the money starts coming back here. So on the limited account, I will say, should have maybe taken the 200 really quickly there. It's going to be a back and forth type of trade, so you got to be quick on that action. But it wasn't a bad one. Still made the 117, and then just trying to bounce back. Of course, I had a max kind of red day on this yesterday, so just got to keep battling here. But nice little pullback there on the VXX. It went right back towards the high. Maybe should have just taken it off like I did the VIXI in the other account. But hey, that's the battle here, guys. A nice little $700 cushion for me now on this. Can take a look at and take a different trade, right? Now the SPY right off the bottoming. Do we get continued collapse here or a bounce right back up? So I could, if I wanted to, trade the SPY back up. What I'm looking at is what's going green and what's taking lead. It's energy, guys. It's energy. So that tells me more of the situation on XOM and XLE, situations like that. And we're actually seeing some pullback there. So looking around to see what's going to go green here. And that's important to me also. Financial services are in the green, but could go right back red. Right. So I'm looking at that action. Up one, down one, up two, down two, up three. Yeah, XLF could go red here. We'll see what happens. Just taking a look to see if this is going to start to decline right back down. Goldman Sachs already giving me that hit there. Morgan Stanley, I've been waiting for this to really break. So let's see. Maybe today's the day. There's a big support underneath it at the 103. All right, going to the Morgan Stanley chart. I like that chart to the downside. Looking at that for potential short here. If the market's going to keep coming down, I could see Morgan Stanley being that type of stock here. Market looks heavy, but of course, Nvidia is still holding on. Picard did come back down towards my kind of original entry. So Conrad said short on Apple. There you go. Get after it, man. And thanks for the shout out about JPM. Taking some profits in City. Hey, man, get that, Conrad. Love to see it, man. All right, a lot of you guys tuning in. Smash the like. Let everybody know this is where you got to be. Today, one of those days where we're actually getting that money, man. Let's make it rain. Let's make it rain out there. You guys know where it's at. Let's go. Let's go. Make it rain. Trying to take that money today, guys. Trying to walk away with the cash today. Let's go. Of course, you guys could be trading the limited account yourselves. Are you guys trading it? Let me know in the chat. Who's getting after that limited account and who's making that money already? SPY hanging in here. Could go for another leg there. The VIXI pulled back right back towards the 30-40s here. We'll see if it reloads and goes back towards the upside here. I think we're going to get this back and forth. Could go back towards the 30s first. So 1330s is what I kind of see first, and then I'll look to see if we reload and go right back up. Big part of that is the 15-minute. I want the 15-minute to go red for a second and then look to see if it breaks out towards the 1360s. Morgan Stanley already kind of declining there, and I'm looking at it for a short. This looks awesome. I just got to go after it here and just kind of figuring out how do I do that. So what I'm looking at is potentially is maybe going after it in the swing account or maybe in the limited account for a longer term trade. But that's the problem. It's where do I spend my buying power right now, on the VIXI or in the stocks themselves? Nvidia is a big part here. If it bounces off the VWAP right back up, well, guess what? You're shaking all that action. So watching Nvidia here to see if it goes back through the opening price of 120.90. If that happens, watch out. Knock the door down. Everyone's going to be coming down here and looking around and wondering what the hell just happened. Qs are coming down fast there, and definitely was a quick turnaround. You could also bet back to the upside, right? There's both bets right now. A little part of me is more thinking about betting on what? Betting on the chop. So the Qs coming right back up towards the upside and Nvidia coming back to the upside. Even though I want to bet to the downside, the bear in me, it just seems to me like it'd be too easy. But we'll see what happens here. Back and forth action in the VIXI, in the SPY, and all over the markets today. We'll see. Is this the buy? Nvidia right back up? Qs, we'll see if it goes right back up. 481's just undercut and recovered, so that doesn't look like a bad area to maybe make a little bet on this to come right back up here. So in the second here, I might take a shot here in the main account to taking the Qs directly, just the Qs themselves. Picard is starting to come back too, so I can't leave out Picard today, guys. I did get stopped out of that for the cash, right? I made a green trade, but this could still make the move, right? And so What I could also do is go to the swing account, right? And then just try to take that on the swing account. I've taken it before, so there's nothing wrong with me taking that trade there. Let's go ahead. Let's take a trade on that on the swing account. So then at least I don't miss it if for any reason I get this quick upside action today. All right, just grabbed a little bit there. Grabbed the 100 shares, nothing crazy, but just going to give myself the ability to at least be in the name here and risk like $70 to the downside. All right, let's get out of that. Let's go back to the main account. I'm seeing the VIXI jump to the upside there. So that means downside attempt here in the Qs. And there it is, right back to up there. VIXI trying to spike towards the 1350s there. So on the VXX, definitely got caught there on the pullback there for the limited account. We'll see what happens. SPY heading to the downside there. Morgan Stanley heading down towards the 103.26. Could be a breakdown there. So now it's just more, do you see the reversal coming in here, or do you continue to play the downside? Downside is coming in there on the Qs. Will it reverse? Just made a double bottom on the 5-minute. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Does it hold that double bottom 480.35 and start making a comeback? If not, then you're looking at takedown through the open on the Qs. It's approaching that takedown through the open. Look, that's 479.97. 481.50 area, definitely rejected hard there. Nvidia back to 122. So there's a play to be made right there on that Nvidia bet. So I'm looking at that Nvidia bet. I normally bet against Nvidia. Will this be the time that I bet for Nvidia to come right back up? So there you have that attempted move there. We'll see if we get an attempted move back through the 122s, a double bottom in the 90s, and then starts to work its way. But Qs are still looking a little weak, but did just bounce there. So looking to see what happens here. There's definitely going to be some mixed noise. All right, guys, I'm looking at the limited account and thinking about Nvidia here. All right, already starting to see that spike in Nvidia. It's already starting to come up here, guys. Now we're into the 40s. I'm just looking for a little pullback in Nvidia back towards 122.10s. SPY and Q starting to come back there. So that looks like an interesting trade and bet to be made there. So even on the main account, I could take this on the Qs just to bet back towards the upside here. So I like the approach at least. Or we're going to see a continued lift, or we're just going to get the flip right back down. Nvidia trying to make that move. It did pull back a little bit there, but even holding the 122.40s looks good there off that 122 pullback. Q's holding that 481 now up towards 41.30, so that looks decent there. All right, looking for that now Q's back towards 481s, and I like the way it looks right now. I just needed to pull back a little bit here. Oh, and look at the move. It's already making it there, guys. Maybe a little bit lag and hesitant there, guys. Looked at the move, thought about it, hesitated there a little bit. Let's keep making some money, guys. I'm up 7-11. Haha, pun intended. I might have to go get a Slurpee with that one. Look at the Qs coming back there. That's going to stomp the VIXI move right back down here. So look at that right back towards the 1330s, right where I talked about it on the 15-minute. It looks interesting. It could come right back down, right? So we're playing the chop today, guys. The chop is being played out there, and you got to be kind of continuing to be quick with your decisions, right? Nat making a move, guys. The shippers now starting to move a little bit here. That puts me on a little bit of alert here for a ship. Maybe take a shot there in the limited account to see this thing get a little bit of a spike here. Like it off the bottoming, but still haven't seen a big lift in those shippers, but I'm just starting to catch a little bit here. Nat is one, the Nordic American tanker ship, starting to make a move on the daily. Doesn't look too bad there to approach this for a little bit of a swing back towards, let's say, maybe 440s. It's not a big stock, not a bigger move, but definitely watching it. Zim down there towards 2250s. We'll look to see if it starts to work its way back. Picard coming back there on that 100. XLE holding in well there. XOM holding in well. Gush holding in well. So oil staying strong. What else is staying strong, guys? Financial services coming back a little bit there. I just talked about how I was looking for that cut down there. You just got a reversal right back, right? So the opportunities are still at play. Let's see what happens. Nvidia off that 122 wouldn't have been a bad one. It's right there to the 123s. You got to be quick sometimes in day trading. And that's exactly a good example of being quick. You could have gone in and out real quick there. Utilities looking like they want higher, guys. So that's one thing I'll definitely point to. Duke is one that I'd take a look at. It's right off the VWAP here. So one that I'm looking at here, daily chart still looks good. Still looks like it wants to continue to push back through the 117 today. So that's not a bad outlook there as it holds off this 116.60s, was just up there to 117. Could start making the move again. Kind of like this one, guys. It's already making the move in the 60s, but hey, doesn't look too bad there to maybe make a 40-cent move back towards 117 on Duke. 15 minutes had a nice bottoming around the 116.30. We're talking about maybe 50 cents higher. XLU is another way to play that. Excel, maybe Southern Company, right? Those types of names, we can definitely try to play them in the utility space. What else is doing well in the utility space? Hawaiian Electric. Catching a little bottom today. Ooh, big bet was put on Hawaii. I think a big bet was put. That's interesting to see. PEG. Public Service Enterprise Group. This thing is ripping. All right, Q's right back down. The struggle begins, guys. So I could see the VIXI taking off there. It did hit the 30s there and held there. So gives it the opportunity to take off again here. So keeping a very close eye, guys. I got to move back and forth, but I got a lot of money in the main account to try to play with here today. Let's play with it. Let's see what we can do. Let's see where we can come up with the risk and return. That's what it's all about here. Hourly's highs, 1, 2, 3, 4s. Tried to get through that 1350s. It's going to be a big spot to watch now to see if we can get back there towards the 1350s. Q's heading right back towards the lows, and so is the SPY. We'll look to see if it breaks the lows. VIX already getting a little bit of a move here. The VXX looking like it wants to make the push there. It's had 3 runs, right? Will it go to the 55? There's bets on, guys, on both sides now. VIXI recovering there, now starting to make the move into the almost the 40s now. So it's just kind of that back and forth. Do I want to take another attempt here on the VIXI? SPY coming down, so is the Qs. It's going to be about Nvidia here. I think if Nvidia gets a wipeout through the 122s, you get through that 1350s on the VIXI here. So watching Nvidia as a big kind of symbol of the market right now. It's trying to recover VWAP. It came back to VWAP here. Will it just reject it and go quickly through that 122 back through 123s? Let's say 123.50s. Yeah, and you get the opposite move. You start to push right back up there towards that 124 on the 15-minute. Picard is going to be an interesting one too. Also, guys, is just hanging out at that 100 pricing. Could go either way today. Deer has been slowly climbing back. It's back at VWAP. So for anything, we get a dump, but you could short those as a way to kind of jump on the alpha, right? Right now, a little bit of a mix with the up and down in the Qs. Just looking to see what happens here, because definitely you're back and forth now. Looks like you're starting to attempt towards down a little bit there. Let's see if Nvidia attempts down here towards the 122. I think that's a big watch for me right now. Is Nvidia back through that 123? It could start to jump. What's up out there, traders? It's a good one today, guys. Moving back and forth. Got the limited account, but still in pre-market exposure limits right now. You'll bounce. You'll get it, Tony. All right, guys, tough day trading today for sure, but at least a nice trade there made in the VIXI. Glad I sold it, right? Because it was a hard one there, man. I sold near the top. I think it got to 56 as the high, 55. I sold at 54. This goes to tell me more and more, right? A lot of times you got to play the chop a little bit there. And on the limited account, should have just taken that 222 when it was showing there. I would have made back a little close to where I lost yesterday, right? So I got to be able to make those types of decisions and just want to talk about that, right? Because the truth is, you got to be able to do it, right? All right, SPY trying to make the up move here. Nvidia trying to make the up move here. We'll see if it goes to that 123. You can place bets right now if you're looking for it, whichever way you're looking at it, right? I mean, that's up to you guys. And I can tell you right now, you're in the middle right now. You're playing both sides. So let's see what happens here. Look how the VIXI is propping and Nvidia is propping. So the VIXI is trying to make the move towards the 1340s, 1350s, but the same thing is trying to happen with Nvidia. So it's going to happen at the same time. If Nvidia goes to 122, that's where I start to think, oh man, we're just trying to wipe out Nvidia's move here. VIXI's starting to push here, guys. 45, 46. I saw some buying come in there. SPY heading down a little bit there, but definitely playing with people now. You're going back and forth. Nvidia holding on. If we do get this hard down action move, these China names could finally turn. So that's one thing to look at, right? Baba heading down fast there. Yang is one way to play this to the upside. Could just have like maybe a 10-cent move, but that could be one that you could load in size, right? I did think that China at some point would start to come back here today. So this is one to look at today, guys. There's the VIXI towards the 30-50s. Looking for the cues to break through here. And I might just play some Yang. Yang. All right, there. It's starting to make the move. Let's go to the limited account and play some Yang here. Want to risk this $117 to see if we can maybe make a nice little 200 here. All right, guys, just bought there the 310s there. Gonna go ahead and add if it gets to 308 and then risk off of like maybe 302s, trying to just make a nice little kind of 10-cent gain here in the Yang here. We'll see what happens. VIXI needs to take off there. There it goes to the 1350s. SPY to the bottom, Nvidia to the 122s. I'm taking the shot here in the limited account on the Yang here, guys. Stepping up to the size here and just going to hold really tight. So I'm going to hold tight and step up. As it comes up towards 312s, I'll add again. Got to take a shot here, guys. Today's one of those days where I'm feeling it. And sometimes when you're feeling it, you got to take some shots. Yang. Go. Little pullback there. Looking to see what happens here at the bottom here, guys. This is the big level. We're right there on the breakout of the VIXI. We're right there on the breakdown of the Qs. We're right there on the breakdown of the SPY. Nvidia hit 122s, actually went below it, trying to reclaim it here, but something definitely to watch. See if this can start pushing back here, guys. SPY going lower there, guys. It's hard to call right now. I can tell you right now, the leak is coming fast in the Qs. XLF is going to be looking good there now. Morgan Stanley going lower, 103.30s here. Main account, going to go probably looking at that Morgan Stanley short. Man, got to save some ammo here, guys, to see which way it goes. I think that's what I'm going to do on the main account. I'm just trying to save some ammo here to see which way things go, and then can take some more shots, right? Yang pulled back here to the 306 here, guys. So got to go ahead and just maybe take a little bit of a shot here, adding on this, and then starting to hold break even. Trying to bounce back on this account today, guys. So taking a bigger shot here today. Let's see what happens. Looking to play this to the 319, guys. So does that get to that 319? I'll probably look to see if it pops above that, but probably would just take that money and run. Trade pretty much established here. Just got to take a look to see what happens in the queues. And it could be that this one takes the hit, right? I have this one in the exposed right now. Main account that I have a big cushion in. I'm waiting to take a bigger trade right now. I want to take a big trade and step up here and try to see if I can push this account in the right direction right now. But a big part of it is looking to see what happens with Nvidia here, because if it reclaims and just goes right back up, I could go long big on Nvidia here. So I'm just trying to see what happens here, right? So those are the two plays. Nvidia could easily just hold here 122 and then go right back up. So that's why I'm just trying to hang out here, hang out, watch it and see what happens. It could be a quick rip up. Could also just trade the Qs off this low, right? This 479.97. They're starting to make the move. Nvidia starting to reclaim that 122.50s. Looks good here on Nvidia, guys. So that's where I'm going to value take the bet right now in the bigger account. Could easily make about $1 move here, but you got to be careful with this thing because this thing moves fast, right? So just watching it to maybe play this. And I could also just go for the Qs themselves, which is going to be maybe a little bit of an easier play. You can see the back and forth though right now, definitely between the Bulls and the Bears, and the VIX is also going to be trying to either make the breakout above the 55 or the breakdown back through the 53. VIX could also be a way to short this, right? You go short on this, you're looking for the move back towards 13.15s if the market breaks out. Nvidia now starting to hold that 122.70s here, so definitely coming back. And it's coming back in a hurry here. AMD holding that support, also another one that's on the radar today and leading to the upside in the Qs. So you got to look at to see what's leading on the upside and what can make them move right back up. And AMD is one of those. Micron is also. AMD I kind of like a little bit more than even the Nvidia. Even though Nvidia has the news, there's a reason why AMD is moving too. I think it's making a move on the daily. It's a trend line attempt to reload at 164 and then go back to 168. Q's coming back a little bit there. Nvidia pulled back a little bit. Not a big pullback there though. Whew. Back and forth, guys. Back and forth. Stay safe out there, traders. Dixie trying to reload here for the breakout here. We'll see what happens, man. It gets stopped out in the limited. No, I'm still in it. I'm still hanging out here, man. It's back and forth. I'll tell you that. Yang getting a little bit of a move there. Went to the 304 spot. Just got to keep watch on it here. Just in case we get a spike, I'm setting up for ads here. 310, 311. Let's do. I'll add another 1,000 shares if it goes back to 311. Trying to take a quick little rip. just in case that happens here. VIXI, we'll see if it takes off now, guys. What a day, man. Hard trading out there, guys. Looking around at news out there to see what's going on. So it looks like the U.S. is discussing potential support for Israel striking Iran's oil facility when asked about the issue. So Biden definitely bringing the heat today. A car trying to make this up move again, guys. So is Nvidia. Man, the battle's out there today, guys. The battle is out there. It's 10:50, guys. I can't believe it, but I'm going to wrap up soon, guys. I'm up 7-11. Do I take the trade and keep pushing? I kind of got to, man. I kind of got to, but which one do I go for? Now I got that 164 recovery here. Will the market go back up? I usually am a bear, so you know what? Let's go with the bullish outlook. That's how it is sometimes, guys. So I'm going to go for a little bit here of AMD here. I like the 164 risk. All right, guys, just took a little bit there of AMD, 300 shares. Just got to keep it small for right now and look for it to start going in my direction, and then I can size up. The right looking good now towards the 28s. Want to see it above VWAP towards that 164.50s, and then I can take the ad. There's the move, the starter move there. Now I'm gonna add it in just a second here. I'm looking for the 164.50s to at least show up. All right, there's 164.50s. Any pullback into the 40s, and I'm adding. I'm just watching the tape here. There's 60s. It's just rising, and I'm just staying on my level. There's no point in me adding if I'm not getting into the 40s. I need to at least get back closer to the VWAP. That's the area to add now. 164.27. So 164.30s even a better add. Limit out for the ad. Q starting to rise. That's looking good. Of course, on the limited, that might stop me out in that one. The only thing I can do, guys, is go after it, right? So that's what I'm doing it, man. Let's go. Today might be the day, guys. Got to take some shots. Looking to add another 300 on the pullback for the VWAP pullback. So it catches the VWAP. I'll look to catch that there, and then for it to hold 164 on pullbacks right now. 164.70s. Looking for quick pullbacks to add. If it doesn't pull back, that's fine too. Now we're approaching the trend line break, right? So we're going to do the trend line break and then the trend line pullback, right? So trend line break, looking for trend line pullback. Looking good here on AMD, willing to add on pullbacks. We'll see if we get that add at 164.30s and then goes for the bigger move. Pakar making the move finally. That's a good look there for the XLI and my swing trade. So let's see if that's still on there. Yes, still on there. I'll look to see if I can add some more in Pakar, but I don't think I'll have the sizing here to add more. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I was able to add another 50. I'm at 100 now. So now I can risk about 50 bucks and look for this to kind of keep going through the high. So this is a swing, guys. So limited still hanging in there. So that's still not a way that the China names don't come down here. So I got to keep it small. But it's looking decent right now, but it's because it's back and forth in the market. So, hey, just be careful out there, guys. This is one of those days. Got to keep it going, but got to be smart. All right, AMD holding well here. Made it all the way up to almost 165. So at this point, need to cancel my limit ad because the truth is that it could come back to 164. So I'm just watching it in right now. Woo! Well, SPY 500 flat. Now they're changing the stories out there on the media, so you guys know it. Going back and forth out there, guys. All right, guys, it looks like AMD is going to do that little pullback here. Could break even stop on this. It just seems like we're back and forth, and it's so hard right now to determine direction. So you got to be careful and maybe take the green when you get it, right? All right, guys, just setting the break even stop here. Looking to see if AMD goes back up to the top, how much I'll make. I'll make it like nice $600 extra here. So the truth is I don't need to size up too crazy here. I can be break even and give myself a chance for $600. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? I mean, at the top, it would be 780s. So just keeping that in mind, right? That's what I always like to do. What's the profit to loss ratio? How much am I taking? How much am I risking? I'm risking nothing now. It's at the 164.30s right there. So now you're going to get that pressure to add here if I want to take the ad or not. The real key is Nvidia. That's what I'm keeping a very close eye on. All right, Nvidia propping for the 123 move. That's what I'm watching for, guys. If I do get cut out, I can always get back in it with the full sizing with like 600 shares. Could do an undercut to 164, and then I don't want to be in it because the truth is that's where I get just triggered, and the next thing you know, it's at 163.50. I would have got the ad right there. The ad would have hit right there. Now let's see if it stops me out at the 20s. Nvidia pulling back also. So the key with the AMD is a lot of times I'll get caught on these downturns and then it really just wipes me out. Right there, break even out. You see how it goes to 164 and undercuts that. I would have felt the pressure there. Now I'm just looking for it to go back above VWAP if it wants to make that move. And then I can just go full sizing for this swing, right? So I only lost $10 there by not pushing it with the sizing because I would be 600 shares down 30 cents there, down closer to 200, and could be losing 300, 400 really quickly. So that was the concern there with AMD coming right back down. Now I'm watching the market and it looks weak now. Wouldn't you know it? So that's the tough part. Will Nvidia go right back up here? That's what I'm looking for. 123 is back. And then I can go buying on AMD. You can see how it's trying to hold that 164. I could buy off 164 right now, but then I'm also still risking here slightly below that. It's 10:58, guys. I got to wrap it up, man. These are one of those days where I really don't even like to wrap it up, man. I could trade all day on a day like today where the action is good and getting. We'll see what happens here on the VIXI. 15 minutes keeps holding that 1330s. We'll see if it takes off towards the 1350s. The limited account, guys, was able to bounce back and set up here. If the market does do a breakdown, then I'll get another ad here and we'll start taking a bigger swing there in the limited account. Could make a big trade in the limited account today as I'm going for the yang here with some crazy size in here and about to add another 1,000 shares there, which would put me up there towards 4,000 shares on an account with small buying power, essentially, but looking for the rip towards the 320s today. If that rips out towards like 320s, 330s, going to bounce back in this account. And that's all you can do. Set it up for the bounce back, right? Now let's see what happens today. Nvidia takes a quick move to the downside here. That's going to give the VIXI an approach to the upside. VXX staying in play here. Let's see if it does do the breakout now. VIXI getting strong there, looking for the 1350 breakout. I could look for the Morgan Stanley short on this. If we really just start kind of failing here. Oh, this looks good. The Morgan Stanley short. It's about 30 cents to the upside risk. So got to understand that. It's going going to be about $150 if I go 500 shares. The market hasn't gone in any direction. That's the hardest thing. I'm looking at XLF to see what's that doing. It's below 45, rejected 45 today. The daily has been really bearish on this action, and I'm looking to see if this could break down today. Today's the day that I think the financials go. I'm going with the Morgan Stanley. Let's see what happens here. 15-minute chart could still get a little bounce to the 75s. I'm keeping that in mind. As you see this trend line, right? You can easily get a move back to that spot there. I would love to see that go back to that area first. So I'm going to stay on the sideline. I'm going to be watching this, guys, all morning long. I'll be kind of hanging out with my boys. And this is the day where I definitely tell you, if you don't have it already, what the heck are you waiting for, guys? Get to your app now, guys. Now. Get your Trade the Pool app, guys. Are you on the mobile app already, guys? Check it out. I know I'm on the mobile app. Don't try to steal my account. I know you little hackers out there. But yeah, let's see what happens, guys. I'll tell you what. I'm definitely going to be tuning in on the phone today and be taking a look to see, am I up big, down big? What's going on out there? How big am I in Yang? And here you guys have it. We'll see what goes on, right? We're battling out there, guys. You guys can see it. Green on the account. I don't know why the phone's not loading in there, but it's probably just reflecting because of the prompter. But hey, there you guys have it. Go get your accounts. Get that mobile account and get your limited account. This is a great day to take some swings. And it comes quick, guys. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Like always, check out those limited accounts we have right now. 1350 is all you got to make in 30-second hold. Well, I'm trying to come back in that account today. You guys can see me taking some shots. I'll tell you what, today I'm walking away with that money bag, though. Not going to be upset today. A good battle and good trading today. And what? Trying to stay quick with my decision making. That's a big important part today, why I am in the green. Smash the like. We'll see you guys back tomorrow morning. Keep battling out there. It'll be Friday tomorrow, and big jobs number coming out there in the morning. So don't miss that, guys. 8:30. Don't miss that jobs number. It could be shaking up the market. All right, guys, stay safe out there. Keep trying to get after it, traders. And I'll see you next time right here, of course, on Trade the Pool.